Learn to let go of fixing the seasonality of your soul. Learn to let go of fixing the brokenness of your life. Life is movement. Life is change. Sometimes we get lost in the mind's concept of fixing what is broken. But beyond the mind's definitions and conceptions and perceptions is the motion of life in its full breadth and expression. These changes we experience in our lives encourage us to branch out into the fullness of ourself. And if we reject this fullness that life presents us with in the form of change and movement, that can be turbulent and uncertain. If we reject this to remain narrow, we get lost in ideas, in egoic narratives of control that manifest themselves in attempts to fix what is broken. We have to reevaluate the distinction, reevaluate our definition of what fixing is, of what is broken, of what needs our attention, of what needs to be released. For to fix is to control, is to grab. Often in our life, we are trying to control, we are trying to fix something that is no longer there. And we are often ignorant of the fact that there is nothing to fix, there is no problem, there is only change, there is only renewed opportunity. And the only way to really live fully is to focus not on the past, on what you want to fix or to control, and to instead shift your attention and your actions and your words to the new opportunities that life is ushering into your life through the seasons of your soul, and to integrate and embrace this constant shifting movement. And even when you move on to new pastures, to continue that practice of letting go of fixing what is broken and accepting that when things change, they are no longer what they used to be, which doesn't mean that they are broken. It just means that you are ready to expand out, to branch out into your fullness, into your fuller nature. And that life is encouraging you because it ultimately senses your receptivity for change and your capacity for greatness. And it is your responsibility to dive into that expanse and to let go of fixing, which is in fact egoic controlling of the past, to maintain the status quo, to maintain narratives that are comfortable. But change is meant to be embracing of the new, to dive into what is unknown, to dive into yourself, to dive in the fullness of yourself. This is your delight, this is your soul's delight that manifests itself in the seasons of your soul. So consider, what is it you are trying to fix? What is it you are avoiding creating while you're trying to fix? I.e., what are you focusing on the past as you ignore delights, soul delights of the future? Consider replacing fixing with creating. If you find yourself spending most of your day trying to fix what is broken, try to replace these practices with creating what is unknown, creating or manifesting potential ultimately. You want to move yourself from powerless, the victim, into the powerful and creative. You are creative in essence. And that creativity, that natural abundance of creativity, is limited when we are in a constant state of fixing or survival or victim or powerless, or gifting away our gift of creativity. It is an opportunity when we let go of fixing to express this innate, potent, creative force that is both in us and outside us. And those that take bold steps, feeding that creative narrative, are supported by life in mysterious ways, in magical ways, and ways that are a wink to your bravery, that is not verbal but is felt, and leads you further and further down the path as you begin to know that you are supported in creating, but that life will not support you in fixing. Because fixing is selfish, egoic selfishness, trying to control what it wants, whereas life will only support those that are creative to their unknown potential, or creating towards the unknown potential. That is when you are supported by life in mysterious ways, through subtle nudges within, through external, spontaneous inspiration or opportunities. Test it, play with the potential in you that can be expressed outside of you. Shift that perspective from fixing to creating. You are ultimately tapping into yourself as a creative tool, and this will be a lifelong practice as you begin to expand further and further your creative essence. And every time in the future you catch yourself in that fixing rut, that fixing loop, we are trying to recreate the past that is no longer there. Then you begin to see it for what it is and begin to move your attention and your movement towards creativity, towards initiative, towards action, towards play, towards curiosity, towards interests. Instead of focusing on what is broken, focus on what interests you, what new delights and curiosities and passions that are subtly existing in you, waiting to be manifested through firstly attention, by focusing on it and letting go of the focus to fixing. And once your focus is there, you can then act upon that hidden mystery inside you, waiting to be born through action and consideration and integration. This is what life ultimately encourages us all to do. We will all get stuck in ruts from time to time where we try to control and fix, and we fascinate our attention with ideas of this is broken and that's broken and I have to fix this, and we distribute our attention in all kinds of unproductive areas. But sometimes we have to question whether we are not a victim, and that we have the power, and whether that power is deserving of trying to revive things that life maybe and deliberately bringing to an end. As winter approaches, or as autumn approaches, there is no use in controlling or lamenting the seasons. This is about accepting the movement, and this movement exists in you, in your soul, and it causes friction in yourself and your life when you become heavy in your expectations and controlling and fixing. When life force cannot move through you, when your soul's life force cannot move through you because you're too focused on what you want to fix in the past, then life becomes tense, it becomes heavy, it becomes blocked. And we can all sense this blockness, this tightness, this complexities that arise, the muddying of the water, confusion. These aren't our natural state, and we can pick up on these things, and we know inherently when things are flowing and they're light and they're enjoyable and you're interested and you're engaged. If you're confused and blocked, you're tired, these are symptoms to consider, symptoms of the soul that is incredibly expressive. You will always know where your soul is at. Whether it is elated, you are light, and you are playing, and you are curious, and you are creative, and you are passionate. And if it is dour, you are confused, you are unsure, you are unsettled, you're blocked and heavy. These are symptoms or messages, communications. This is your dialogue with your soul. So if you ever need to know where you're at, you can tap into these feelings, your relationship with yourself and with life in the current moment, and discern for yourself whether you should be fixing or creating, whether you should be the victim or standing in your integrated power or your innate power. Being aware of your innate power, for one, is the first step. And then once being aware of it, using it, there is both to be and to do. To be presently in your innate power, and then to do, to express your innate power. This is the creative task we are embodied in, that we are immersed in, and must dive into further and further as the seasons of our soul direct so. So, listen to your soul, listen to its authentic needs, and begin to play with your creativity once more. Bye.